And something miraculous is going to happen this holiday season. Instead of slaughtering turkeys, we're going to be saving them, taking them to sanctuary. And this is part of a growing movement around the world for animal rescue, because most people recognize that dogs and cats should be rescued. You know, we love donating to our local cat or dog shelter, but there's a growing movement of people who believe and are acting on their belief that farm animals should be rescued too. That when an animal is sick or injured or dying, it is good for us to show compassion for them. But the amazing thing about today's event is even the farmer who owns this facility, Rick Pittman, the owner of Norbest Turkey Ranch, is agreeing with us, at least today, and is releasing 20 turkeys to us. 20 turkeys are going to go from being a Thanksgiving meal to a sanctuary. And that is a miraculous outcome. And one of the most remarkable things about that is not only are they releasing these turkeys to us, but they're releasing these turkeys to us despite the fact that 2 years ago, this is a farm that we investigated. It was in national news. CBS News reported on the rotting, cannibalized turkeys we found on the floors of their barns. But the farm has changed ownership. It was bought by a man by the name of Rick Pittman. The ownership has apologized for the things that we found. They actually shut down the farm days before Thanksgiving 2 years ago. And now they're saying that we believe that animals should be rescued, that it's a good thing to save lives. And despite the fact that the prosecutor in this county, Kevin Daniels, is continuing to prosecute whistleblowers and Good Samaritans who merely tried to assist animals who are in need, the turkey farmer himself has said, you know, I'm not supporting this. I'm going to try to find a way to have dialogue, try to find a way to work with people who disagree with me, despite the fact that we have these deep, profound disagreements, and rescue these turkeys this holiday season, which is a remarkable outcome. You can see all the people are gathered here from Utah. An enormous crowd of people are all incredibly excited to be here today to take these turkeys from a potential Thanksgiving meal where they were the ones who are going to be eaten to a Thanksgiving meal where they are going to be the ones who get the delicious food, who get to live out their lives in peace and happiness. And we've been extensively trained. We have animal care experts to make sure all the animals are cared for properly. We have media here, documentary companies. You're seeing videographers all around me. We got folks who are local grassroots activists, famous activists from PETA, like Amber Canavan, one of the brave activists who spent 30 days in jail for merely rescuing some ducks from a foie gras facility in upstate New York. We've got Zooey Rosenberg, the teenage phenom who started an animal sanctuary and is leading the rescue today. And we got Vegan Evan. Vegan Evan, are you happy today to be here? How do you feel about being here to rescue turkeys?
I'm so excited.
And you're going to be carrying a turkey out today, right?
I don't think I'm going to be carrying.
We're going to be helping
out,
your mom.
But my mom is going to be.
Okay. And how do you feel about that?
I'm so excited.
Yeah. And have you rescued a turkey before? You have, right? Because you were with us last year.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not the first time. And what do you think about turkeys at Thanksgiving? What should we do at turkeys at Thanksgiving?
I think that we should eat vegan turkey, and the only way to have a turkey at dinner is to have him eating with us.
Yeah. So Vegan Evan's message, cute kid who has been in the media, his videos have gone viral, is saying to the world that this Thanksgiving, the best way to have a turkey at Thanksgiving is to pet them and take them to a sanctuary. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing. And for those of you who are not vegan or vegetarian, you know, we understand that a lot of people feel like it's extremely difficult to move away from an animal-based diet to a plant-based diet, to transform this industry that has been a tradition in American society since this country's inception. And our message to all of you is for our planet to survive, for our communities to truly thrive, and for our conscience to really be uplifted, we need to stop clinging to outdated traditions that involve so much violence against animals, against human beings, and contamination of our air and water, and move towards a plant-based system. And that's our message today. And that's a message that I think even the owners of these turkey farms, we have big agribusiness conglomerates making huge investments into plant-based proteins because they recognize the writing is on the wall. When the people see what's happening inside farms, when they see what's happening to our environment, they want transition. And ultimately, it's good for everyone. And so one of the asks I've made of Rick is, at some point, let's explore transitioning your entire company into a plant-based business where we continue to supply meat and protein to the world. We continue to give great jobs to all the workers in this county and distressed counties across the United States of America. But instead of hurting animals, we protect them by producing our protein from plants. And I think everyone can get behind that. And many of you probably heard the single largest IPO in 2019 was not a traditional tech company. It was a plant-based meat substitute technology company called Beyond Meat. And actually, one of my dad's, this is an interesting story about me, one of my dad's classmates in college, or in graduate school and college, was the person who actually invented Beyond Meat. So Buddhists all over the world have been celebrating plant-based substitutes for thousands of years. And now it's becoming mainstream, not just in China, not just in Buddhist communities, but really around the world. But I'm going to give a shout out again to Mr. Pittman. He's actually in the background here. He asked not to answer any questions, but I just want to give a shout out to him again, because this man has every reason to be fighting with us, every reason to be upset and angry about animal rights activists. And today, and this is really a parable for our times, right? Today, instead of fighting and arguing and continuing the divisive politics of our nation, we're collaborating with folks that you might not think should be collaborating. And I think that's a beautiful message for the entire world this holiday season. Let's come together and find common ground, that even folks who might otherwise see themselves as adversaries don't have to be enemies, right? Adversaries do not have to be enemies, that we can have conversations even with folks we disagree with, and we can build a better world if we listen to each other. Because, Rick has listened to things I've said, and they've made changes to this company as a result of some conversations we've had, which I'm appreciative of. And he's told me some things as well about the consequences of animal rights activism on local families, on how important it is for us to have an economic climate that gives every person in Utah and around the nation a good job. And those are messages that we both believe in. So whatever your beliefs are about whether we should have turkeys or tofurkeys at Thanksgiving, hopefully everyone in this nation can agree that people should have good jobs. That should be something we all agree on. And that cruelty to animals should be opposed. I think those are things that everyone can agree on. And that's the spirit of our event today. There's no need to watch and wait on me, by the way, folks. I don't know if Zooey.
You're the
Zoe.
first person.
Oh, I'm the first person. That's right. I am the first person to be taking a turkey out. So somebody's got to take this camera. Are you going to take the camera?
We're going to give a health check to
Okay. So let's do a health check. Can I document the health check real quick? Okay. So we got Zooey Rosenberg, who has done an amazing TED Talk.
And Celeste is actually
Celeste is an animal caretaker who's going to vet school any moment. And you can see here's the first turkey, everyone. Look how beautiful she is.
Let's get the door closed.
Let's get the door closed. And we got some, animal care experts who have the turkey who has been taken from the slaughterhouse and farm. And now what is this that you're doing with her,
This
Zoe?
is ivermectin, just in case they have any parasites.
Okay. And what are you doing
then
now?
we're just checking their feet, making sure they don't have any cuts or anything on their
Yeah.
feet. This is what we do. We do this routinely for all of our animals at our sanctuary, just because, they can get hurt, and we want to make sure that they're always healthy and safe and getting the care that they deserve.
Yeah. And we want to give, every animal the same care you'd give to a dog or a cat, correct?
Exactly, yeah.
Which means like individualized vet attention, which is what you do at your sanctuary. Yes. And what Celeste is being trained to do, right? Celeste, you're planning to go to vet school next year, right?
Yes.
That's really exciting. And I know, I'm hoping you come to Davis so we get to see more of you. But Davis is a world-class vet school, and they'd be lucky to have someone as wonderful as you. And we got a teenager giving kisses to turkeys this Thanksgiving. What could be better than that? Am I right?
All right.
So
she seems
seems
okay.
good. So you did a little eye and respiratory check. You checked her feet. You gave her some ivermectin, which is anti-parasite, right? Medication. So if she has any parasites, they're going to be cleaned up.
You want me to take this for you?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm taking her. Where do I take her?
You're going to take her to Zephin's van over there.
Zephin's van. Okay.
Yes.
And so here's the key, folks. When you're taking a turkey, and Rick knows this better than anybody. You got to control their wings, right, Rick? Oh, yeah. And Zoe knows this too, because they could flap you on the head. And these are all girls, right? Yes. So they're all hens. Turkeys can be hens or toms. And this turkey is going to be going to sanctuary. She's actually going to be going to Zoe's sanctuary, right?
Yes. She will.
And I don't even know what we're going to name her. What are we going to name her? Does anyone on Facebook Live have any suggestions as to what we should name her? Anyone in the crowd? What should we name the first turkey? Clementine? It's a really southern name. Any other suggestions? Anyone on Facebook Live have suggestions? So where are we going with truck?
In the crate, yeah.
Okay, so we've got some litter for them, and they've got a long journey ahead of them.
Yes.
It's going to be a very happy journey. And when they get there, they're going to have a happy life with their family and friends, and they're never going to have to worry about being slaughtered ever again. And what could be a better message this holiday season, right? Okay, so I'm going to turn this around, and we've got 20 more turkeys to go, folks. 19 more turkeys to go. And we've got media, documentary companies present, because this is just such an interesting and provocative, frankly, example of the possibilities that come from dialogue and collaboration. That if we don't fight, there's a time for direct action. There's a time for protest. There's a time for us to have arguments. But, one thing I love about the Sunrise Movement, if any of you have heard about the Sunrise Movement, this powerful movement of young people fighting climate change, is one of their philosophies is no permanent enemies, no permanent friends. That we talk to everyone, we see the good in everyone. We also acknowledge there can be bad in everyone. I mean, I'm not a perfect person. I make lots of mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. So we have no permanent friends and no permanent enemies. That we're open to dialogue with everyone. Okay, the second turkey is coming out and getting a health check. We have
good to meet you. It's good to meet you, beautiful.
And you can see in their heads, these are still young turkeys. They're probably, my guess is 12 weeks old.
I think they're 11 weeks.
11 weeks old. So they're still juvenile turkeys. And she's getting a little health check, checking out her skin. Oh, she's got a little wound there.
Yeah, it might even not be her, but it might be someone else.
It might be someone's. Okay.
I don't see a wound.
Do you have any antibiotics or?
Oh, I see some feathers though.
Okay. Just some feathers that are pulled out.
Major. She'll be fine.
Okay. So we got some antibiotic appointments for this turkey. And again, I mean, there are not many turkeys that are as lucky as this one, right? Most turkeys on Thanksgiving, I think the number that is usually cited is 46 million turkeys are killed around the Thanksgiving holiday. And these 20 are one of the few that will be saved. And it's a tremendous and miraculous act of compassion. Okay. And Beverly, you're about to carry this turkey off to her new home. How are you feeling about that?
I think you worded it really well about the collaboration and opening up dialogue.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important. So I'm really pleased with that.
Yeah. And thank you for being here today to help us with this rescue.
Oh, absolutely.
So we're gonna take this turkey off to her crate, and she's going to California too, right, Zoe?
Yes. So she'll be coming with us too.
So here's what I'll say, folks. The turkey that I carried out on Facebook Live, why don't you just comment what you think should be named, and we're going to tabulate the name suggestions afterwards and votes, and whatever you all decide she should be named, we're going to name her based on your comments. So comment and let us know what you want to name your turkey, and I think Bev is probably going to name her turkey, because I think, Bev, you're adopting this turkey, right? I am. You're going to adopt this turkey.
Adopt her.
Yeah. Oh, Bev is a huge animal lover. She's got, 3 dogs at home in Sun Valley, Idaho, and now you got a turkey who you're responsible for too. That's quite the responsibility. But
where do you want her? Where should she go? In here with
and it's going to be a good life for her, and the rest of the turkeys that are saved this Thanksgiving. Here she goes.
Okay, love bug.
Let's see if they get along. So one of the really cool things about turkeys that you realize, oh yeah, she's got a little cut. She's a little scared. She's a little scared. It'll be okay, sweetheart. Look at her. Yeah. Thank you, Beverly.
Yeah, thanks,
so, Bev, how do you feel? Are you going to visit this turkey
I am
later?
going to visit her.
Yeah, so she's in California. Bev actually has not fully moved to Idaho yet, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so you're still in California, means it's a short drive to go visit her at Happy Hen.
Correct.
But thank you so much for adopting her, Bev. It means the world to her, and it means we're able to do what we need to do to give her the veterinary care, the food, the home that she'll get for the rest of her life.
Absolutely.
Any last words?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, again, thank you all for joining us. We've got 20 turkeys being rescued from a slaughterhouse in Utah. It's the same slaughterhouse that was the subject of an investigation back in 2017. But under new ownership, this slaughterhouse has decided, instead of prosecuting activists, to have dialogue with activists, and is releasing these 20 turkeys on Thanksgiving in the spirit of collaboration. And that's an amazing, amazing thing that, frankly, has never before been seen in the animal rights movement. I just want to show you all a turkey that's being treated. But all these turkeys are traditionally raised in industrial farms and barns. These turkeys do get outside sometimes, but traditionally when you see turkeys raised for Thanksgiving, they never even go outside. So many turkeys that you might buy from a grocery store near you may not have ever even stepped outside their entire lives. But these turkeys obviously are going to get a chance not only step outside, but live the rest of their lives in peace and happiness. And just one interesting fact about turkeys a lot of people don't know, the turkey was actually in consideration. I don't know, Rick, if even you knew this, but the turkey was in consideration to be the national bird. Did you know that? Yeah, you know who wanted to do that? Benjamin Franklin. Yeah. So Rick knows this. And this is Jeremy Beckham. Jeremy Beckham is a longtime animal rights activist who is the executive director of the Utah Animal Rights Coalition. He is carrying a turkey to one of the transport pens where they'll be driven off to sanctuary. Jeremy, do you have any thoughts? What are you feeling?
It's a humbling experience. Yeah. Sends a message that individuals matter, right?
Yeah, individuals do matter.
Got a long road to make big change, but these guys,
yeah, it's going to make a huge difference for these 20 lives. Any other thoughts?
Just humble to be part of the whole experience, I think it's very powerful.
Yeah, and we can see the Utah mountains and all the other turkey farms out there. There are literally millions of turkeys that are slaughtered in this county, and these are the ones that are lucky. How do you feel about that?
It's like hitting the turkey lottery, right?
Yeah,
the vast majority of turkeys, they're going to be treated like inanimate things, but these turkeys are going to each be given an individual name. They're going to be treated like the individuals they are, emotionally complex beings, sensitive beings. They experience the world much the way we do.
Yeah.
And I think that this is a powerful way showing that there is a new world possible.
Yeah.
Where they'll be recognized as individuals who matter.
Powerful words from Jeremy Beckham at the Utah Animal Rights Coalition, another group that's well worth supporting. So if you're interested in finding out what you can do to help this rescue and rescues like this, 2 things I'll suggest. And you can see one of the crates is now going into the transport truck. They've got a long and happy drive ahead of them. Stefan is one of the amazing people who's going to be driving them all the way home. But you can support animal rights rescues like this by going to the Utah Animal Rights Coalition's website or going to our website. We are Direct Action Everywhere, a grassroots animal rights network that supports animal rescues around the world. We save dogs from the dog meat markets of China. We save pigs from massive factory farms. We save turkeys from factory farms. And today, in collaboration with Mr. Rick Pittman, we are saving 20 turkeys just days before Thanksgiving. And you can help us by going to dixie.io/give. dxc.io/give. And I know many folks are chipping in and becoming, adopting some of these turkeys, which is a huge deal because for us to give proper care to a turkey for the 10 years that they can live, sometimes these turkeys can live 10 or more years. For us to give them the good lives they deserve, we need people to step up and support in all ways, whether it's giving veterinary care, going to vet school like Celeste is going to, being like Zoe and starting an animal sanctuary, doing legal advocacy like what Jeremy does, doing direct action like what I do, where we rescue animals directly and investigate abusive conditions, or someone like you on this live stream, even just sharing this live stream so other people can find out that turkeys can be rescued on Thanksgiving, or are becoming a donor. You can support us financially. There's so many ways to support. This is a growing movement. It is a movement that's not going to be stopped, and we're winning over people who are part of the industry. So this is Madhu, who is an activist from Wyoming, who came all the way to Utah to participate in this rescue. Madhu, how are you feeling?
Oh, it's a beautiful feeling to take this little bird to her freedom. The first time she'll ever walk on the grass and see the sky.
And you were so sad watching some of the footage from turkeys yesterday. And how does it feel to go from that crying tears of sadness to being here, taking her off to freedom and sanctuary?
I feel so encouraged now. I think there is a hope. There's a hope we'll stop this period one day.
It may be hope for all humankind to stop the violence, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's have a peaceful holiday.
Yes.
Okay, so where's she going, Zephyr? So she's going into her crate right now. Madhu is gently placing her down. And she is going off to sanctuary now, folks. She is going off to sanctuary where she is going to have a very happy life. So one of the really interesting things about turkeys that most people don't know is turkeys actually have the ability to fly in the wild. So domesticated turkeys have been bred, so they're very top heavy. They have big breasts, unfortunately, so they don't fly quite as well. But in the wild, you'll see turkeys flying like eagles, across the skyline. And these turkeys actually want to express their natural behaviors. They want to fly, they want to flap. And unfortunately, the turkeys that are often raised by the industry have just lost that ability, but they still have that desire to keep flying.
This girl's actually got a little wound on her tail.
Okay, so you're going to take care of her, right?
Yes, we're going to.
Okay, so you're going to treat her a little bit.
And then my mom's a veterinarian.
Your mom's a veterinarian.
She'll look at it.
Look at it? Okay.
Make sure she's all
So how are you feeling? She's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, she's a little
But
sad.
she's going to be okay, though, right?
She'll be fine.
Everyone's going to be okay.
Yes.
You're going to be in good shape
She's
real
going to get
soon.
some care, and she's going to be totally fine.
Yeah, how do you feel about that, huh? How do you feel about that? Okay.
Yeah, she's just perfect. All right, so want your medicine?
She's going to get some ivermectin.
Don't want it, but
so again, one of the remarkable things about turkeys is that beyond having the ability to fly, they're also extremely social animals. And most people know that chickens are honestly kind of chicken. That's why we call them chickens. Well, we don't call them chickens because they're chicken, but chickens are very skittish. But turkeys generally are much more friendly. And when you're at a sanctuary, and of course, if you mistreat your turkey, they're going to run from you. But if you treat your turkey well, they can act like a dog or a cat. And there are turkeys at Zoe's sanctuary that literally sit in my lap. Every time I go there, actually Mary, the turkey we named after Rick's wife, is one of the turkeys who always sits on my lap. She's very, very cute. And this turkey is one of those turkeys that will get a chance to be socialized, to have a good and happy life, and live the life that a dog or a cat might have, which is a very good life. So if any of you have dogs or cats at home, you know that animals are living creatures, they're sentient, and you may know that dogs and cats are abused. But what a lot of people don't know is that animals we traditionally use in farms also have feelings of pain and pleasure. And there's a growing movement, even within the industry, to recognize that animals are sentient beings who deserve some form of consideration. And that is why we're seeing not just animal rights activists, but one of the most remarkable things was Smithfield Foods actually just recently announced they're launching a veggie burger. Smithfield Foods, for those who don't know, is the largest pig farm production company in the world. It is owned by the Chinese government, and it's been involved in human trafficking, worker abuses, all sorts of awful things. It's one of the companies that is prosecuting me and other animal rights activists for documenting the condition inside one of their massive pig farms in southern Utah. Even Smithfield Foods, which hates animal rights activists, hates vegans, is trying to put me in prison for 60 years. Even Smithfield Foods just launched a plant-based burger because they recognize that there's a growing market for this, that this is the future, that there's a way for us to raise animals, or not raise animals, I should say, and still produce meat that doesn't involve any cruelty, any environmental consequences, and is better for workers and local communities as well. So this is Amber Canavan, actually. Amber Canavan is a famous activist. She's been in the New York Times for rescuing ducks from a foie gras facility in New York. And Amber, let's get her wings down. So one of the interesting tricks about turkeys is they have very strong wings. And so if you're ever holding a turkey, the key thing is you get their wings covered up. And Amber is a bird lady, so you can see that smile on her face. She's very happy. That is the biggest Thanksgiving smile you could possibly see. Amber, how are you feeling about taking this turkey? Oh. Okay, so where does Amber need to go, folks?
She's going to
Zephin's in? Okay. You can direct us if you need us to stop, by the way. Okay. Oh, you can see the smile on Amber's face. Amber, she's a little stressed. Oh, yeah, you can see she's open mouth breathing. But Amber has had birds. I actually just learned she's had birds in her life from her childhood. And many people don't realize that birds can make wonderful companions. In fact, they don't. It's not that they can. They do make wonderful companions. And this turkey, like the other turkeys that are going to be rescued today, will make a wonderful companion for Zoe or for other kids or families that want to give these animals a good life. Okay. So for those of you who just joined from Now This, we are in the process of rescuing 20 turkeys from one of the largest turkey slaughterhouses in the western United States. It's a Thanksgiving miracle. These animals are going to be taken directly from slaughter to sanctuary. And it's kind of a, for those who aren't aware of the growing animal rights movement, it might feel like a little bit of a historical paradox that on Thanksgiving for us to save turkeys instead of eating them. Because usually when you think about Thanksgiving turkeys, you think about slaughtering them and eating them. But we're here today to do is show the world that there's another path forward, that we don't have to kill and eat these animals on Thanksgiving or any other day, that there are serious consequences when we do so, and that we can work with folks in the industry to transform our food system and make it more sustainable, make it healthier, make it more humane, and make a good life for the workers, for the owners of the companies, for everybody, the farmers, if we're willing to take on the challenge of building a system of food that is in alignment with our values. So one of the things that's most remarkable about this particular turkey rescue is this turkey rescue is occurring at a farm and slaughterhouse, first of all, that is one of the largest in the United States and the largest in Utah, but is a farm and slaughterhouse that has also historically been a part of a prosecution of animal rights activists. So many of you know, or many of you have heard about the ag-gag laws. These are laws that have been passed across the country that criminalize the mere act of taking a photograph or taking video footage of a turkey like this. So, basically what I'm doing right now in many states, including Utah, was at some point a crime. The industry passed these laws, lobbied aggressively because they didn't believe in transparency. And the result of that is many people, including myself, have been criminally charged for these investigations and face potentially decades in prison. So how are you feeling about taking this turkey?
I'm so happy.
She's very happy. It looks like the turkey's going to be happy too. And where's she going? Derek, you got in here? Okay.
She's going to Ching.
She's going to Ching, so she's going not so far away.
So
Due to Utah. Put in a tag?
Yeah, so you know what.
Jackson's got them? Okay. So this turkey, again, is going to a farm sanctuary in Utah. In an act of mercy, a slaughterhouse in Utah has decided to release 20 turkeys to animal rights activists into the public, where these animals will now live out their life in sanctuary and peace. And what I was saying is the remarkable outcome in this case is that in Utah, a very conservative state where the industry has passed these ag-gag laws, we now have turkey farmers saying, no, I don't want to prosecute people who expose misconduct and save lives. I want to work with them. I want to show that we can find common ground. We can work together to build a more peaceful life for all animals, including the turkey you're seeing right here. And I said earlier, but turkeys are are not just incredibly social animals, they're actually incredibly intelligent animals, and they have many different types of calls. So if you're ever out in the wild, you'll hear turkeys chirping in different ways. They have different beats to their calls. When there's a predator flying overhead, they'll have a certain call. When their families are nearby, they'll have a certain call. When they see a friend, they'll have a certain call. When they see an enemy, when they see a turkey they don't like. So many of you probably have someone out there in the world that you don't like, you know, admit it. You probably don't like somebody in the world. And when you see that person, you respond a little differently than when you respond when you see your best friend. And turkeys are the same way. There's certain other animals they just don't like, and they will respond differently. And in that way, they're just like our dogs and cats at home, right? So and I was saying earlier that there are turkeys that know me so well that the moment I arrive in their homes, they'll literally sit on my lap. And in fact, one of the turkeys who consistently sits on my lap and wants belly rubs and scratches is a turkey that we rescued last year at the same facility. I named the turkey after the wife of the turkey farmer who is releasing these turkeys to us. Her name is Mary. And she's a delightful little turkey who I'm probably going to see. I absolutely am going to see in the next week and a half. So Zoe, how's this turkey? Yeah, I'm coming to happy hen.
I already know that.
Okay, so how is this turkey, Zoe?
She's okay. Yeah, she's. I didn't find anything wrong with her, so she got her medicine.
She got her medicine,
and she's ready to go into her van.
Oh.
Yeah. Then when they're younger, you can kind of see. I don't know if you can see on the live stream, but they kind of have blue eyes.
Yeah.
Some of them at the sanctuary from last year, they still have blue eyes.
Yeah.
But
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's true of a lot of animals, right? Like kittens, and maybe even human beings, right?
Yeah.
I think human beings have blue eyes when they're young too. And so these are still babies, and these babies are going to get the best life you could possibly imagine, because instead of being slaughtered and eaten, these turkeys are going to a sanctuary. How do you feel about that?
I feel excited.
Excited?
Yeah. Get to watch her grow up.
Get to watch her grow up. Because is she going to Ching too?
Yeah, she's going to the sanctuary.
Sanctuary that you live right next to. And can you tell people, what is an animal sanctuary? What is a farm animal sanctuary?
It's just a place where farm animals get to live out their life just how they want to.
Yeah.
We're just there to help them.
Yeah, instead of being slaughtered, they live in peace and happiness and joy. Which, isn't that the message of the holiday season? That we should live in peace. Okay, so where are you putting her? Into the crate? She's going to get a little tag. And what is the purpose of these tags around their legs? Can you tell people on the live stream?
It's just because we both volunteer at the sanctuary that they're going to, so we can know
which ones are going to your sanctuary. Okay. And do you have any ideas on a name for these turkeys yet?
No, we haven't thought of it.
You haven't thought of it yet?
Probably see their personalities.
See their personalities. And they do all have different personalities, right?
They do.
Yeah. Tell us about turkey personalities.
They're all individuals, just like us. You know, we have our chatty ones that won't stop talking, and you have your quiet snuggle bugs.
What do you think she's going to be? Do you think she's going to be a quiet snuggle bug or a chatty one?
I think she has a lot to say.
She has a lot to say?
She's going to be a singer.
She's going to be a singer? And turkey singing is pretty beautiful, isn't it? So if you've never heard a turkey singing on Thanksgiving, later on, if we hear some of these turkeys making some calls, I'll try and bring the live stream over so you can hear turkeys singing on Thanksgiving. Because, you know, what better time to sing than the holiday season? And I know, like, I go around my neighborhood and sing some holiday songs in my neighborhood. What if we went around with turkeys and sang with the turkeys? We could have a little turkey choir and sing songs to our families and our neighbors. This is actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try, well, I'm going to have to find a turkey who's willing to sing with me. But if I can find a turkey who's willing to sing with me, I'm going around my neighborhood. I'm going to have a little choral, what is it called when you sing with your neighbors? Choir? Caroling, Christmas caroling. I've actually done this before, very briefly, and I'll do it again. Even though I'm a Buddhist, I still believe in celebrating the holidays of other religions, and I would love to celebrate Christmas with a turkey. And we got another turkey right now getting some health checks. And what are you doing right now? This is kind of weird that you're looking at our backside.
So the vent is an area that's kind of more prone to infection and
so
problems.
The vent is where they lay their eggs normally?
Yeah, I mean, they're not laying age, so they're too young for that, but we just want to make sure that, you know, it's easy for them to, you know, get a touch on a more sensitive area. Okay,
and this is Zooey Rosenberg, who's done a TED Talk, is the founder of an animal sanctuary, is, you know, one of the most powerful animal rights activists. She's actually been arrested for the animals, even though she's only 17 years old. and she is the one who's leading this rescue today. She's giving health care to all these turkeys. Imagine a world where everyone gets health care, you know, not just human beings, but dogs and cats. And I know that's a struggle for human beings today, but let's dream big. Let's imagine a world where everybody on this earth is given a peaceful and happy life and no one is ever hurt. And that's such a beautiful dream. It's a dream that we can achieve, but it requires us to really fight for it. And Lynne Carroll is one of our activists all the way from Indiana, right, Lynne? Which arm first?
Squeeze around just like that. Perfect. And then push against your chest. There you go.
And the other hand is where?
Just perfect right there.
she's struggling.
You want me to walk with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you walk together? Okay,
This is
so
gonna be Vita.
Vita?
Vita.
Is that your name?
Vita.
What does Vita mean? For life.
For life.
Wonderful. Lynne is an amazing supportive animal rights activist and animal rescues. She's coming all the way from the Midwest, Indiana, to participate in this turkey rescue, and she's going to name this turkey Vita. You got her? So let's put her in there. And how are you feeling, Vita? For those of you on Facebook Live,
Vita,
if you want to say anything to Vita, now is the time to say it.
how would you feel?
She's stepping on the litter. Look at that. She's got her first few steps on her journey home. These animals are finally going home.
Thank you.
Lynne, what do you have to say about carrying that turkey?
The right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do.
A step in the right direction.
Step in the right direction. But how did that feel to take this turkey?
Oh,
He was going to end up, she's going to end up on a Thanksgiving plate, right? And now here she is with you.
Right.
Yeah. How does that make you feel after seeing, because you saw some, photos and videos in the last couple of days.
You're amazing. You've talked nonstop since we got here. I think that's pretty impressive.
Maybe people on Facebook Live are getting a little sick of me at this point, but in my defense, it is very cold. And when I'm cold, I have to overcompensate by being very active, which means talking a lot. So all you all know this and on the DXC Facebook page, that is my excuse in defense. But we got another turkey coming out. And I just want to point out, we've got a Buddhist monk here too. Robert from Arizona is a Buddhist monk here to celebrate. And you can see him in his kind of meditative pose, just honoring all the animals that are getting rescued, because it is a Buddhist tradition. There's a tradition in Buddhism called feng shen, or life release, where Buddhists have an obligation to save animals from slaughter. And there are over 100 million animals that Buddhists save from slaughter every year. But a lot of times when Buddhists do this, they do it in an environmentally unsustainable way. They'll buy animals from markets and from slaughterhouses and just release them in the wild. And you really can't do that, because a domesticated animal like a turkey, Rick could tell you this, you can't just put a turkey out on a field somewhere. They're not going to do very well for themselves, because these are domesticated animals. And frankly, they're probably less likely to survive than even a dog or cat. You're better off just throwing your dog or cat out in the wild than a turkey, because these animals are not able to fly anymore. They're not the most survivable. And this is, I just want to point out, this is Faith Ching, another renowned activist in Utah, who's started one of the longest running animal sanctuaries in the nation. But I was saying is that, when you rescue these turkeys, you need to bring them to sanctuary, because they are domesticated animals, because they don't have the ability to fly, to defend themselves, to find food and water the way a wild turkey would, which makes them even better companions, right? Because there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. There's nothing wrong with not being able to fly. I mean, I can't fly, and I hope no one eats me because I can't fly, right? So Faith, how do you feel about this?
I'm excited.
So you're taking this one home. Do you have any ideas for a name? I know you love turkeys.
I know. I don't have names yet.
Okay.
But oh my God, she's perfect.
She's perfect, indeed.
Baby girl.
She's perfect, and she doesn't even have to go that far, huh, Faith?
No, just
what, an hour away?
Yeah, hour and a half.
An hour and a half away, back home. And how does that feel, taking a turkey from slaughter to sanctuary on Thanksgiving?
It's the best thing.
It's the best thing in the world.
It is the best feeling in the world. It really is.
Yeah.
I love the little turkey.
And tell us a little about turkey personalities, because you know about turkey personalities.
Oh, yeah.
You've been around turkeys a long time.
They're quite, just very, very friendly and sweet, and they're very social. They want to be around people, unless they've been abused by people.
Yeah.
But ours love to just follow us and run when they see us coming, and they're just very curious. And like I heard you saying, they look up in the sky.
They do. They love looking at the sky.
Go by, or like a hawk, and
yeah,
and they're amazing.
And they have families just like us, right? I mean, you've had turkeys who sleep with you on your bed, right?
Yeah,
I
know
about that.
Yes.
Tell us about that. I mean, they're like part of your family.
Yes, that was tiny. And she was so little, and she couldn't be outside. And so
because she was too little.
She was too little and too young, and it was very cold. It was winter. And so she slept on my bed with me every single night.
And she loved you, right?
She loved me.
Yeah, and I'm sorry for that loss.
Yeah.
I'm sure people on Facebook Live that lost a dog or cat. For someone who has adopted a turkey, it feels the same way to lose a turkey that it feels for you to lose your puppy. So I'm sorry for that loss that happened last year.
Yeah.
But hopefully this is a little bit of a salve on that wound, because you can recover a little bit by saving another turkey.
Right. Exactly.
So thank you, Faith. Do you have any other final comments for people on Facebook?
I don't. I'm just so grateful for Rick doing this. I'm so grateful. And where is he, by the way?
He's over there. You should go talk to him.
Shaking his hand. Okay.
Yeah. So Faith, you should go talk to Rick in just a moment. Do you want to go talk to him now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's take Faith. For 2 Utahns, Faith just wants to say thank you to Rick.
And thank you to you.
Yeah, for everyone on Facebook.
For putting everybody that helped put this together.
Yeah, DXC helped put it together. But please support Ching Farm Animal Sanctuary there in what city in Utah?
Harriman, Utah.
Harriman, Utah.
So who's Rick?
Rick is right here.
Hi, Rick. I just want to
She's a local.
You. I run Team Farm Rescue, and we just so appreciate this. I can't even tell you. Oh, yes. So thank you so much.
Yeah. So how many turkeys are you going to
6.
Just 6. But how many animals do you have at your sanctuary, Faith? 160. And just an hour and a half from here, you said?
Yeah.
Near Salt Lake City.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I think
we have our turkey 6 from last year doing absolutely great. Oh my gosh,
yeah, and it's the longest. You're the oldest farm animal sanctuary in Utah, right? The first one. 21 years in business. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, any final thoughts, Faith?
No, just hope we can do this every year.
Yeah.
I know.
It would
really.
make Faith very happy. She had a turkey in her bed. She was just telling people on Facebook Live. She slept with a turkey.
Oh no.
For a year or so.
A baby who has needed me.
Yeah, she slept with a baby turkey for a year or so. Yeah. She has the pictures to prove it. I've seen them. So yeah, you've got this is the turkey mom. Everyone, here's a turkey mom. This is what a turkey mom looks like. I bet you thought turkey moms look like turkeys. We got a turkey mom who's a human being. And we got another turkey now going off to Sanctuary, folks. And where's this one going?
Going to California.
And this is Autumn, who actually works at another animal rescue, Best Friends. Autumn, do you have any thoughts you want to share?
I thought maybe a good name for this one would be Sunny, because she hasn't experienced sunlight.
Sunlight, yeah.
So I just am really excited for her to experience sunlight and to dust bathe and to have friends and to choose her friends who she wants to associate with. So awesome. I'm really excited for Sunny.
Awesome. Yeah. And do you know where she's going? Which sanctuary?
They said, what did they say? I'm not
Zoe,
sure.
where's she going?
She's going to Zephyrin's van.
Zephyrin's van. So she's going back to Happy Hand. No? She's going to California Sanctuary. Okay, and you spend so much time rescuing dogs and cats, right, with Best Friends. Tell me about the connection between the work you do rescuing dogs and cats and the work you're doing literally right now with your hands.
Well, I think if people spent time around these animals like we do, most of us do, our companion animals, they would understand that these guys are individuals. They have their own needs and wants and desires. And the fact that I get to help in some small way to help Sunny here is just an honor for me here today. It's
an honor for us to have you here and to have, someone from Best Friends working not just to save dogs and cats, but to save other animals as well.
Yeah.
And now she's going off to Sanctuary, folks. You got some litter in this crate. The crate's going off to California, and she's going to have a happy life in sunny, warm California. A little warmer than Utah.
Yes.
A little chilly today, huh, Autumn?
Yes, it is.
Any final thoughts, Autumn?
I just am really honored to be here, and it's my day off. And so I just thought, what better way to spend my day off to help some turkeys find some freedom. And
especially on Thanksgiving, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially this season.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Autumn. All right. Another turkey's coming out. And we actually have some documentary makers here as well. Documentary makers who are getting footage of this entire scene because it is such kind of a historic event. An unexpected event. And where's she going?
She's going to
California. Okay, so let's take her off, huh?
California girl.
You have any thoughts to share as you take this turkey off to Sanctuary?
Blessed to be able to be a part of this.
Did you ever think you'd be taking a turkey to Sanctuary on Thanksgiving? No? Yeah.
I was here last year and went first event.
First event, and really, wow. And now here you are carrying a turkey.
I've got a name for this one.
Yeah, what's her name going to be?
Valerie.
Valerie.
Yeah,
this is Valerie. Oh, we're going this way.
It's my girlfriend's birthday today, and it's this turkey Valerie's birthday today.
It's her birthday. This is her rebirth, her life day. This is the day where she's going to get a happy life and live out her life in peace.
It's to be orange.
So she's going to stay in Utah, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we can come visit her then.
Yeah, great. Valerie, how you feeling? So they have these beautiful blue eyes, too. You can see the blue tint in their eyes. They're very observant. They're very visual animals. They love observing the world around them. And, as Faith was saying, when a plane flies over or a bird flies over, they'll watch. When there are new animals at the farm, they'll go and meet them and introduce themselves. They love to chirp and play and get belly rubs. And this turkey is going to get all those things and more this Thanksgiving. What do you think she's going to get for food on Thanksgiving? Do you have any plans?
No.
No?
That's up to
Any
Faith.
treats? Fruit? You're going to make a Thanksgiving feast? So this year, the Thanksgiving feast is not going to be serving turkeys. Well, actually, it is going to be serving turkeys. We are going to be serving the turkeys with Thanksgiving food, right? That's what's going to happen this Thanksgiving, which is an amazing change. All right, so she's going to go into her crate now, huh? And there she goes, everyone. Here you go, happy bird. And all these turkeys are hens. The reason for that is hens are less likely to fight. And, it's kind of a sad thing It's just one of the many things you have to think hard about when you're doing animal rescue. Which animals can you rescue? Which animals can you not rescue? And taking the boys is harder because they tend to fight and claw each other. And so all the birds that are being rescued today are hens. If you have the ability to rescue one of the toms, a male turkey, and have maybe a little more time and a little more land, then we'd love for you to rescue a tom. But today all the birds being rescued are hens. All right, Pablo, where's she going? California too? How you feeling, Pablo?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very happy. Very thankful.
And you're a Utah too, right?
I am, yes.
Yeah, you're a Utah rescuing turkeys on Thanksgiving.
I am, yes.
So if you are interested in supporting these sorts of animal rescues, you can go ahead and put her down. Again, she's going to Chang? She's going this way. Okay.
That's what that's on me.
Okay, yeah. So we have the case right over there.
One more crate. Yeah. So if you're interested in supporting rescues like this and advocating for animals, there's so many ways to help out, but one way is to share this live stream. So click that share button, comment that you're sharing, because more people will find out about this pretty miraculous story over the holiday season of a turkey slaughterhouse saving turkeys instead of slaughtering them. Second thing you can do, and I'd ask you to do, is support these rescue efforts by contributing financially. You can go to dxe.io/give2020 is one way to support these rescues, because we're trying to give support to all these sanctuaries. We need to do a lot of work, whether it's lobbying or investigations or community outreach to make sure people know about what happens to turkeys. But there's so many great ways to help out. And even if you can't be here in person to help us rescue these turkeys, being here in spirit and supporting us on social media makes a huge difference. Don't you agree, Celeste? Absolutely. Supporting us in social media makes a big difference. And Farrah, do you agree with that?
Do you agree?
Yeah. So I just want to point out something that, turkeys are all have a process called debeaking done to them when they're born. And you can see like her upper mandible. Let me just point this out real quick. Her upper mandible is much shorter than her lower mandible. This is the top of her beak. And if you just look at her beak, the beak is actually seared off with an infrared beam when they're born in a very painful procedure. And it's necessary because whenever you're raising animals in confinement or in large numbers, the animals will actually start pecking each other. And you might think like, oh, that's bad character for the turkeys. Well, the same thing would happen with human beings. If you raise 10,000 of us in one industrial shed, would eventually fight. And if our beaks were still sharp, if our nails were sharp, we might cut each other. So they do beak all of these birds. And it's a very painful procedure that sometimes leads birds starving to death because they're in so much pain they don't eat, which is very sad fate for a turkey. But these turkeys obviously will not have that occur to them. Because they're not going into confinement. They're not going into a farm environment. They're going to a sanctuary where they have plenty of space, room to roam, and happy lives this Thanksgiving and for the rest of their lives. How are you feeling about carrying this turkey?
Really humble.
Yeah.
I'm really excited that she gets to live her life out, especially with Faith
here
in Utah.
Yeah. So you're going to be able to hang out with her and see her. Do you know what you're going to name her?
I think we should go with like Athena.
Athena?
She's fought in some battles.
Yeah. And they are fighters, aren't they? Yeah. Farm animals, because they deal with so much. And yet when they go to sanctuary, it's like they recover within days sometimes. Do you have any other thoughts about being here on the holiday season, rescuing turkeys?
I'm really thankful that we've been able to work with Pittman Farms and been able to pull the whole group together.
Yeah.
To come out and support.
Yeah.
Have such amazing sanctuaries that the birds can go live in.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and here she goes. She's going to her crate. We're trying to limit it to 2 or 3 turkeys per crate. These turkeys have been together their entire lives probably, so they're most likely going to be pretty nice to each other. And the fact that they're juvenile turkeys, they're young turkeys, also means they're going to be nice to each other. But you still have to make sure you don't put too many in the same place, or they will step on each other. They could claw each other. They could peck each other, which is not a good thing. So these turkeys, many turkeys you'll see will actually be de-toed. But these turkeys have not been de-toed. You can see they still have their claws. The downside of that is that they're able. Oh, she's caught in your sweater.
Let's get you uncut.
Uncut. But the upside is they don't have to go through a painful procedure of having their toes essentially seared off, and that happens to many turkeys in commercial facilities. It's not occurring to these particular turkeys. It has not occurred to these particular turkeys. Okay. So again, we have 20 turkeys going to sanctuary rather than slaughter. Imagine a world where all over the world, and all over the nation, instead of eating turkeys on Thanksgiving, we save turkeys on Thanksgiving. Well, that world is coming to life today. at Norvest Turkey Farms in Moroni, Utah. And our hope is in the future, this is a clarion call for the entire world, that we can create a world where we no longer harm any animals for food, that we treat animals like living creatures in the same way we treat our dogs and cats, because these animals do have the same feelings as our dogs and cats. They do have the same desire to live. They are social in the same way as a dog or cat is social. And if we get a chance to meet them and we learn from them, we listen to them, we find out that these animals, they yearn to live. They yearn for a happy life in the same way that we all yearn to live for. We all yearn for a happy life. Okay. So again, we have a Buddhist monk here as part of this ceremony. We have people from all different backgrounds here. We have people who are from California, people from as far away as Indiana, and then obviously many, many people from Utah, local animal rights activists. We also have a vegan kid who has a very big social media platform himself. Vegan Evan, what do you have to say about today's rescue?
I think that this is amazing, and I think that this is awesome that these turkeys are going to be able to live their lives happy, safe, and free. Mm-hmm. And I actually had a question for you.
Yeah, what's your question
today? If you could name a turkey, or if you're going to name a turkey, what are you going to, or would you?
Well, I'd probably name a turkey Natalie, because I lost my dog, a year or so ago, and many of you have probably lost a dog or cat. You know how much loss you feel when you lose one of your companions, and being able to save a life, to remember the life that meant so much to me, would be very proud of. So maybe I'll name one of them Natalie. My first dog, Vivian, was also very important to me. And dogs and cats are just like turkeys, right?
They are.
Tell us about the similarities between dogs and cats and turkeys.
Turkeys, they purr just like a cat sometimes.
Yeah.
Just like chickens. And also dogs, they can be playful, they can be sleepy, they can be grumpy. Same thing with turkeys.
They can definitely be sleepy.
They can be sleepy. My pit bull sleeps, he goes to bed at 8 o'clock at night and on his own, and he wakes up at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Wow, that's a long nap. Speaking of napping turkeys, I think I'm going to turn the camera around now and show you another turkey. Zephan, are you taking this turkey?
Yes.
Okay. How are you feeling about this, Zephan? You've done so much animal rescue, but this might be the first time you've actually carried a turkey from a slaughterhouse, huh?
Second time.
Second time? You did this last year too?
Yeah.
Okay. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. This actually reminds me of a Jewish value called tikkun olam, which means the repair of the world. And I think that with the animal rights movement in particular, whenever we, do an action or share a video or especially save a life, we're getting closer to the full repair of the world to tikkun olam.
Yeah. So, Zephan, you're devoutly Jewish, correct?
Correct.
And you think this is part of your cultural and religious tradition?
Yes.
And part of your religion's tradition to save animals rather than hurt them?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about that. Why do you think Judaism requires you to help animals?
So Judaism has had a long tradition of caring about animals before most people did. In fact, one of the 7 Noahide laws, which is the laws that everyone should follow, is that you can't eat animals alive, and it was the first time that any kind of rule like that was established.
Why would people eat animals alive? Is that a thing people did?
It was a thing back then, yeah.
Wow. I guess there's like live sushi. That's terrifying.
And Judaism set the standard.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that.
That you're not allowed to do that.
Okay.
And nowadays, there are many Jews in the animal rights movement, and it's because we're trying to reach tikkun olam.
Yeah, wonderful. Any other final thoughts? So these turkeys are calling on top of each other. Do you think we should try and separate them a little bit?
Let's try to do that.
Right, so this is kind of what happens sometimes in confinement facilities, and this is why we bring birds to sanctuary rather than confine them in farms and slaughterhouses, because we know if they're too confined, they will step in each other, they'll claw each other, and you saw those sharp claws earlier. That very commonly does happen in commercial turkey production. The turkeys will claw each other, which is one of the reasons they do detail the animals. But we're trying to prevent them from clumping. But they're all very scared, and this will change, right? Let's move away from these turkeys because they're scared. But you've spent a lot of time with turkeys because you've volunteered in animal sanctuaries. Yeah. That will change. This fear they're exhibiting right now.
Yeah. And so
tell us about how turkeys are after they've been in a sanctuary.
So this is what they're like at first. They they run away from you and they try to stay as far away from you as possible. But then
can you get down actually?
Yeah. But as time goes on, what tends to happen is they start to get a little bit more friendly with you. They trust you, and eventually they're sitting on your lap, or they're even chasing after you.
Yeah, following you around.
They're incredibly resilient.
Yeah, good.
Like they go from this, really sad, to just being the most curious, happy, and engaged individuals.
Yeah, wonderful. And you've had birds in your family too, right?
Oh,
You've adopted birds into your family.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Let's move away from the turkeys a bit.
Yeah.
And then I'll go to the next rescue.
So,
I think if we have the monk rescuing a turkey, I want to document that. But briefly, tell us about the experience of having turkeys in your family.
Well, so a bird that I had in my family, her name was Jude. We rescued her, and she was like in this really frail and awful position. We rescued her from like an auction yard. And then, she grew her feathers back and she's super social, and now she's living a very happy life at Happy Hen. So,
awesome.
So she, we're really happy to see birds be this resilient.
Okay, I want to document Robert.
Yeah.
A Buddhist monk here today. Thank you, Zephyr, for sharing. We have a Buddhist monk here today. Pastor Robert is just taking a turkey off the sanctuary, this is such an important Buddhist rite, to save animals and release them from pain and misery and bring them to freedom and happiness and peace. And you can see Robert's prayer beads, his ceremonial robes. Robert, do you have anything to share?
Just very happy.
Just very happy.
Be able to bring her to our temple. She's actually going to be going to.
She's going to a temple. Wow. And what happens? I mean, she's going to live at the temple in peace and happiness for the rest of her life, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Beautiful. And I don't know where we're going with her. Is she going to a sedan?
She's got a special sedan.
She's got a special sedan to go back to Arizona, where there's a Buddhist temple waiting for her. How many turkeys get a chance to hang out in a sedan and drive with their friends back to a Buddhist temple? And she literally is just sitting in the backseat of the sedan. Look at this. So look at this, folks. We got a turkey in a sedan. It's just like you're hanging out with your friends. I'm going to sit in here with her for a second. This is a turkey on Thanksgiving in a sedan. You can imagine like a dog looking out the window. That's kind of what she's doing right now. But you can see, she's a little scared because this is a new environment for her. But yeah, this is a sedan, just like any other sedan, except this sedan is taking a turkey to a Buddhist temple this Thanksgiving. How you feeling, sweetie? Okay, she's a little scared, so we'll get out of here. Buddhist. Robert, do you have any other thoughts you want to share?
I'm just very happy that we were able to save who we could save today, and I'm praying for all of their long lives.
Yeah, great. Thank you for those prayers. And thank you for all of you on Facebook Live that are praying for all the turkeys and all the suffering animals on this planet, because we need your prayers. But even more than prayers, we need your support. And you can support us by sharing this live stream, clicking that share button and commenting or sharing, so more people can hear about this new phenomenon of people rescuing turkeys on Thanksgiving instead of slaughtering and eating them. And also because we need your support in other ways. We need you to come out to rescues like this. We need you to come and learn about what happens to animals and become an activist yourself and expose your community, your family to what happens to animals in these sorts of facilities, so we can make the world a better place. We need you to have dialogue to local farmers. We don't see eye to eye on all issues with the farmer that is releasing these turkeys today, but what we all agree on is this holiday season, let's save some lives. Let's save some lives. And that is a beautiful thing. And that's what's happening here today, that a turkey farm is releasing 20 turkeys, saving their lives this holiday season, and as a showing of good faith, as a showing of compassion towards the animals and to the actives who are hurt so much when we see violence against animals. And you're probably one of those people too, who sees exposés or investigations of factory farms or slaughterhouses, and you're upset about the cruelty to animals you're personally witnessing. And hopefully it warms your heart to see these turkeys going off to live a happy life this holiday season. This is Derek Grau, another amazing activist from Arizona. Derek, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling moved. I mean, it's an amazing collaboration. I mean, the idea of just transforming this holiday into something that reflects our values, and the lives just transformed, and we get to be a part of this, and it's amazing.
Yeah. And Derek, you don't look like a hippie vegan. You look like honestly somebody from Utah.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about yourself. I mean, your background is an interesting one, where you're kind of an unexpected animal rights activist and vegan, right?
Yeah, I'm actually from Iowa. I come from a background of hunting, and my dad had a multi-generational hog farm.
Yeah. So from hog farmer to animal rescuer in many ways.
It's when you're connected to the issue, and you are raised around these animals, and you see a clear alternative.
Yeah.
We say we care about animals, and this is the real way to reflect that.
Yeah, awesome. Any final thoughts you want to share with the live stream?
I'm looking forward to being back here next year. I mean, let's transform Thanksgiving.
Yeah, let's transform Thanksgiving. Powerful words by an ex-hunter, ex-hog farmer, or his family was hog farming, I should say, named Derek Derek, you should talk to Rick at some point. Yeah. Yeah. So, and Derek is part of a new generation of farmers who are trying to farm food for the nation in a way that doesn't involve environmental contamination, that doesn't involve public health risks, and doesn't involve animal cruelty. And we're seeing more and more of these farmers step up. And we're hoping this is just the first stage. You know, I mean, Rick, the owner of this farm, and I don't see eye to eye on everything. But one thing we do say eye to eye on is that we need to have a good, sustainable food system for everybody on this planet. And for us, part of that is moving towards a plant-based food. So we got Shannon and her son, Vegan Evan. Vegan Evan, you should check out his social media platforms on Instagram and Facebook. But they're taking off a turkey to sanctuary. Shannon, how are you feeling?
I am so excited. This is just really, I mean, we are transforming Thanksgiving, and I know it's not going to be long until they're all happy, safe, and free, and we don't even have to worry about trying to rescue anyone.
Yeah.
So.
And what about you, Evan? Are you happy about your new friend here?
So excited.
Do you like turkeys?
Yes, I absolutely love turkeys, but not to eat.
Not to eat. You love turkeys to save, not to eat.
Yes.
And isn't that a great message this holiday season? Let's save turkeys instead of eating them. And who can deny the words of a kid? Like, look how cute that kid is. So listen to those words and ask yourself, do I want to be part of a Thanksgiving that involves compassion, right? Or do I want to be a part of Thanksgiving that involves violence against animals? Okay. And here she goes. She's going off to her new home, her new happy life at a sanctuary. Do you know where she's going?
She's going to Sage Mountain.
Sage Mountain, so not too far away.
Yeah, and we're gonna bring her there.
You're gonna bring her there. You're gonna actually personally deliver her to her new home.
We're gonna be in the van, and then we're gonna visit her on Wednesday morning, and then again on Wednesday evening.
Evan, how do you feel about that? Vegan Evan, how do you feel about bringing this turkey personally to her new home?
It just makes me feel so amazing that I know that I'm not part of this turkey suffering, but I'm part of this turkey living.
Yeah. Instead of being a part of turkey suffering, be a part of turkey living. That's great. Any final thoughts you have to say?
I'm happy to be covered right now. I felt it when I was walking, and I'm fine with this. I'm happy about
You're proud.
this. I'm proud.
She's proud. Look at that.
Yes.
You know someone's tough when they get pooped on by a turkey and they say, "This makes me happy." What could be a better thing to do on the holiday season than get pooped on by a turkey?
And this Thanksgiving makes 23 years since I've eaten an innocent animal. Wow. I'm so grateful that my cousin showed me a video what happens to them.
Yeah.
And so we can only do better once we know better.
Wonderful. Okay, let's just get a last look. Last look at that. Last look with Evan. You want to crouch down again, Evan? You want to say goodbye to the turkey for now? Bye for now.
I can't wait to take you to your new home.
Yeah, she's going to a new home. Okay, great. So let's move over. We got another turkey being rescued. I don't even know where we are. I mean, I lost count of how many turkeys are being rescued because there's so many turkeys that have been carried out of this slaughterhouse. And we got another health check happening over here. How's she doing, Zoe?
Good. Just gonna get her dewormer.
Oh, sure. Her beak is debeaked pretty badly. So, you can see like her upper mandible is so short. It makes it hard for them to eat. And they have to do that because in confinement, these animals will peck each other. But she's going to get some ivermectin. This is a anti-parasital medication. To make sure her digestive tract is clear. And now she's going to be going. She's the last turkey.
The last one.
Wow. So Johnny, you've got the honor. How are you feeling, Johnny, about taking this last turkey off the sanctuary?
Okay, I love.
Well, I'd like to just take it in, appreciate her, and appreciate that we have the opportunity to do this. And I'm grateful for Rick. And I know he's busy right now, but just thank you. Thank you for having a kind heart. And I hope you expand that and consider the other animals in the facility.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you have any ideas on a name yet? Have you talked to the folks at Sage?
Not quite.
Okay. Well, Johnny works for a sanctuary called Sage Mountain. Beautiful place in Park City, up in the mountains. And these animals are going to be going to Sage Mountain and living out their lives in peace and happiness. And I can say from personal experience, you could not imagine a more beautiful place for any animal to live.
No, she's okay. She's okay. She's okay. I got it. I'm used to holding these guys.
Yeah. There we go. And how long have you been at Sage Mountain?
8 months.
8 months. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Like you get to spend time with the animals almost every day, huh?
5 days a week.
5 days a week. That's awesome. And I heard that you're going to be going up there with Vegan Heaven, huh?
Yeah.
So we got kids, we got turkeys, we got animal rescuers. Tell us a little bit about your journey. I mean, you haven't always been an animal rights advocate, no?
No, not at all. So, growing up, I had no pets. And when I was 20, I got a dog. And, this dog and I bonded on a level that I didn't even know existed. I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I started realizing that pigs have that same spirit. We have the capacity to connect with them on the same level. We just choose not to. And not only do we not choose not to, we don't have the opportunity to interact with them. That's why I encourage people to go to sanctuaries, visit these animals. The pigs are like our dogs. They roll over from belly rubs. And when you see them as individuals, it changes you.
And turkeys too, right? They'll ask for a belly scratch or walk up to you.
Absolutely.
How are the turkeys at Sage Mountain? Are they pretty friendly?
They pull my gloves off.
They steal your stuff. They're just like human kids. They steal your stuff. Or you probably had your dogs take your shoes. Now you've had turkeys steal your gloves.
Yeah. No, it's just more animals taking your things. Basically. Yeah.
All right. Well, any final words, Johnny, about this ceremony today where we rescued 20 turkeys?
I'm looking forward to the ripple effect of this event. This rescue.
Yeah, we got media that's planning to report on this. There's already one television station covering. We have a documentary company. We have obviously all of you on Facebook Live watching, and just want to thank all of you and express support to all of you and express appreciation for the support you're giving Johnny and myself, and most importantly, little birds. As you can see, we got two little birds here. See if they can get their faces a little. You want to turn? I'm not going to turn. But we got them covered up to keep them kind of dark. Keeping them in a dark, enclosed environment is going to keep them calm, make them feel safe as they journey back home to their sanctuary. So this has been an amazing day, folks. I mean, I cannot thank you all enough for joining me while we rescued these 20 turkeys. They all came from this trailer, from this slaughterhouse, Norbest, one of the largest turkey slaughterhouses in the Western United States. There are millions of turkeys that are slaughtered here every year, hundreds of thousands slaughtered just for Thanksgiving. But this holiday season, instead of being slaughtered, these 20 turkeys were saved. And it's because of efforts from people like you, because it's not just about the people on the ground here who are doing the rescue with our hands. It's not just about Amber and myself and Johnny and Zoe and the rest. It's about all of you online, out there in the world, who just support these efforts by sharing live streams, by commenting, by talking to your friends and family about what happens to animals, by saying that you love animals too. Because a lot of people feel like it's almost, as an adult, embarrassing to say you love animals. But there's absolutely nothing embarrassing about that at all. Whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're non-binary, whether you're Buddhist, you're Jewish, you're Muslim, you're Christian, loving animals is part of our core value system across all human cultures, all human creeds. And it's about time for our systems to start recognizing our values. And the problem is, too often these systems are corrupt. They're based on corporate influence. They're based on campaign contributions. It's one of the reasons I and others are being prosecuted with potentially decades in prison for merely rescuing and giving aid to suffering animals. But we can change that. We can change that entire system if you are empowered to align your world, your lifestyle with the values you hold. So that's the message for today. That's the message we hope to bring even to the farmers of this nation. And that's why we believe that ultimately this nation will change, that we are going to transform Thanksgiving, that a generation from now, people will be saving turkeys instead of slaughtering them. And we'll all look back on these days and wonder, how could people have done such things to animals? How could people have done such things to such gentle, beautiful creatures like the turkeys you saw today? So let me see if we've got any turkeys who we can take a last look at. Maybe I'll go into the sedan. Let's go into the sedan where we got some turkeys. We're going back to Arizona. Do you think I could sit with these turkeys? Oh, you covered them up? Oh, they're down there. Okay. Do you mind if I go in there and say hello? Okay. Folks, we got two turkeys down here. I'm going to show you. Here they are. Sweeties. They're a little scared. But they're hanging out in here. Just like your dog might sit in the car, waiting for their new family to take them home. These turkeys are going back to Arizona, but there are turkeys that are going to California, turkeys that are going to Utah, turkeys that are going to Oregon and Washington. And all these turkeys, instead of being slaughtered, they are going to be saved. Okay. Well, Zoe, do you have anything else you want to say? Zoe, Jeremy, anything else you want to say? We have the two people probably stay in the shot, Jeremy. We have the two people who are probably more responsible for this rescue than anyone else here standing today. in celebration of a successful rescue. What thoughts do you all have to share?
Yeah, well, I'm so happy that all of these girls are going to live the rest of their lives at sanctuaries. You know, this is a day of so much celebration because, you know, we're celebrating these animals getting to live out the rest of their lives in peace. We're celebrating liberation. We're celebrating what we want all animals to be given, freedom. And, you know, this is really a little small glimpse of the world we're trying to create. So it's really beautiful to be here today. And I'm so honored to have been able to help rescue all of these beautiful individuals.
And Zoe, you led this entire rescue. Can you tell us again how old you are?
I'm 17.
So you have a 17-year-old here who's given a TED Talk. Go check it out. What's the TED Talk called again?
It's called Taking the Mound, and it's called that because I talk about how I ran onto the Dodger baseball field when I was 14, which is the first time I was arrested.
So in 14, you're running on the field. 17, you're rescuing dozens of turkeys from a turkey slaughterhouse. And who knows what's going to happen 20 years from now? You're going to help us achieve a world where no animals harmed in the production of our films, our food, our products, or anything else. Jeremy, do you have any final thoughts as the executive director of the Utah Animal Rights Coalition?
You know, we were just humbled and honored to collaborate with y'all in this rescue, and having seen some of the turkeys from last year's rescue really blossom at Sage Mountain Sanctuary, I know what a beautiful thing this is for these birds, and I'm so glad that we can do it for 20 more. You know, obviously this is a time of year that's kind of hard for a lot of vegans, knowing that 46 million turkeys are going to be killed just to needlessly wind up on dinner plates. And so it's good to have a little symbol of hope here, at least for these 20.
Wonderful. And tell us a little about the Utah Animal Rights Coalition and the work you do and how people can support you.
Sure. UARC is a grassroots, or Utah Animal Rights Coalition is a grassroots animal rights organization. We have members all throughout the state of Utah, and we work in a variety of advocacy campaigns trying to help spread end the use of animals at an amusement park called Lagoon. We're trying to end the use of gas chambers at the animal shelters in Utah. So we have a variety of campaigns. To learn more, you can go to UARC.io.
UARC.io. Okay. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Any final thoughts?
I noticed you didn't ask me my age, Wayne.
It might not be as impressive.
That's all right.
Well, you and I are old men, so it's embarrassing this point. We don't want people to know our age, right?
That's true.
I think I'm older than you.
I'm 22, so.
Oh, yeah, I'm a little older than you. I'm 23. You wouldn't think it, right?
Yeah.
But Asian people don't age.
Yeah, exactly.
We stay 23. Like I could be 23 100 years from now. Well, you know. All right, so I don't have anything else. Again, just really appreciative to all of you for coming. Appreciative to all the people here who just show you the crowd. Large crowd gathering in Morona, Utah. Look at all these folks who are here to participate in this rescue, to be on Now This. I think we're on PETA's social media as well, right? I heard we're going to be in a documentary probably, and most importantly, we're saving 20 turkeys. If you want to find out more ways to help, again, the simplest thing you can do is share this live stream, because sharing these live streams does create more awareness about what happens to the animals. And, you know, maybe it'll encourage another turkey farmer somewhere else in the nation to say, hey, I saw this happening on Facebook. Why don't I do this too? And before you know it, we'll make a Thanksgiving tradition of saving turkeys all over the nation instead of slaughtering and eating them around the holiday season. And we'll have a more healthier and more sustainable and more kind food system, and frankly, political system for all. Okay, thanks all. I don't have anything else to say. Just appreciate everyone being here. Appreciate Now This for sharing this live stream. Appreciate Mr. Rick Pittman for allowing us to rescue these turkeys. And keep educating yourself. Don't accept the conventional wisdom. Just because people are telling you you've got to eat meat, just because people are telling you that it's always been the way things are, just because people are telling you that animals kill each other, doesn't mean it has to keep happening. We can do something to change the world for the better, to make sure every animal on this earth is given the peaceful life that we all deserve. And what better time to start that than around the holiday season? Thank you all very much, and we will see you next time.